Welcome to the world of Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, a digital currency.
The first of its kind.
The first of its kind, and it exists entirely online. So to guide our exploration, we'll be using excerpts from Wikipedia's Bitcoin article
Okay.
and the help FAQ from the Bitcoin Wiki.
Sounds good.
So what makes Bitcoin so fascinating is that it operates without banks
Yeah. No banks.
or governments.
No governments.
It's a true peer-to-peer system
Right.
designed to be free from centralized control.
It really is.
And let's not forget the mystery surrounding its creator,
Oh, yeah.
Satoshi Nakamoto.
Don't say the truth.
To this day,
Right.
no one knows for sure who this person or group of people is.
It could be a group.
It could be. Plus, unlike traditional currencies that can be printed endlessly,
Yeah.
Bitcoin has a limited supply
That's right.
of 21 million.
21 million.
Talk about shaking things up.
It really is a shakeup of the system.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible how Bitcoin draws inspiration from so many different places.
Mm-hmm.
Early attempts at digital cash,
Yeah.
like David Chaum's eCash in the 1980s,
Yeah, I've heard of that.
they faced major hurdles.
Yeah.
They either relied on central authorities, which kind of defeated the purpose of decentralization,
Right.
or they just couldn't solve the double spending problem.
The double spending problem.
Yeah.
So that's where Bitcoin's ingenuity comes in.
Yeah.
It took concepts like Hashcash, a system designed to combat email spam,
Uh-huh.
and combined it with clever cryptography
Right.
to create a secure and decentralized system.
Exactly.
So,
Satoshi Nakamoto's 2008 white paper, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, was a pivotal moment. It laid out the blueprint for a revolutionary financial system. What's interesting is that Nakamoto didn't invent all the individual components of Bitcoin.
yeah.
They already existed in academic literature.
Interesting.
The genius was in weaving them together
Yeah.
to create the first functioning blockchain.
The first functioning blockchain.
Yeah, and then on January 3, 2009,
Okay.
the Bitcoin network went live
Wow.
with the mining of the Genesis block,
The Genesis block.
the very first block in the blockchain.
Oh.
And it even contains a hidden message,
Oh, really?
a headline from the Times newspaper about bank bailouts.
Is that right?
Yeah.
A subtle nod to the financial crisis of 2008.
Yeah,
Almost like a statement about Bitcoin's potential to offer an alternative.
definitely.
Bitcoin's early days were definitely a wild ride.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it.
In 2010, a programmer bought 2 pizzas
2 pizza,
for 10,000 Bitcoin.
10,000.
Today, that would be worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
It's crazy.
It's mind-boggling to think about the potential for early adopters.
That pizza purchase perfectly illustrates how Bitcoin's value has skyrocketed over time.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And how little people understood its potential back then.
Absolutely.
But early adoption wasn't all sunshine and roses.
No.
Bitcoin also gained notoriety on dark web marketplaces like Silk Road.
Right, this early association with illicit activities brought a lot of regulatory scrutiny. Speaking of regulations, the legal landscape surrounding Bitcoin is incredibly complex and varies wildly across the globe.
It definitely makes you wonder how governments will adapt to the rise of cryptocurrencies in the long run. But before we delve into all that, let's break down how Bitcoin actually works.
Okay?
So at the core of Bitcoin is the revolutionary technology of the blockchain.
The blockchain.
Yes.
The blockchain.
Okay. The blockchain is essentially a public digital ledger that records every single Bitcoin transaction.
So instead of a bank keeping track of your money,
Right.
it's this massive shared record that everyone can see.
Exactly. And what makes it so powerful is that it's distributed
Okay.
across a vast network of computers. It's not stored in one central location,
Right.
which makes it incredibly difficult to tamper with.
So walk me through this.
Okay.
If I were to send you some Bitcoin, what would that look like on the blockchain?
So let's say you send me 0.1 Bitcoin. Your Bitcoin wallet software
Okay.
would create a transaction. Yeah.
That links your Bitcoin address,
Mm.
which is a long string of characters
Yeah.
derived from your unique private key
Right.
to mine. This transaction is then broadcast
Broadcast.
to the entire network.
Okay, so the transaction is out there waiting to be recorded.
Right.
But how does it actually get added to the blockchain?
That's where miners come in.
Miners.
Yeah, they're the ones who verify and add transactions to the blockchain.
Okay.
They use powerful computers to solve incredibly complex mathematical problems.
Really?
It's a process called proof of work.
Proof of work.
Yeah.
What makes that so important?
The proof of work system is crucial
Okay.
for Bitcoin security.
Mm-hmm.
Because these mathematical problems are so difficult to solve,
Right.
it requires a massive amount of computing power.
Uh-huh.
This makes it virtually impossible for any single entity
Okay,
to control the majority of the network's processing power,
gotcha.
which we call the hash rate.
So to mess with the blockchain, you'd need to outcompute the entire network. That seems pretty secure.
It is. The more blocks added to the blockchain,
Yeah.
the more secure it becomes.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to tamper with a block from years ago. You'd have to redo all the calculations
Wow.
for every block that came after it.
Oh, wow.
It's practically impossible.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
This is starting to make sense. But how do miners get rewarded for all this work they're doing?
Well, when a miner successfully solves a problem
Yeah.
and adds a new block to the blockchain,
Uh-huh.
they receive a reward in the form of newly minted bitcoins.
Oh, so new bitcoins are created.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a digital gold rush,
A digital gold rush.
but with a finite supply.
Right, because unlike government-issued currencies, Bitcoin has a limited supply of 21 million. What happens when all the Bitcoins are mined?
That's a question for the future.
Yeah.
But the reward for mining Bitcoin gets smaller over time. It halves every 210,000 blocks. This built-in scarcity
Okay.
is one of the things that makes Bitcoin so appealing to some investors.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've got the blockchain, transactions, miners, and this whole proof-of-work system.
Right.
But can I actually use Bitcoin like a regular currency? Could I walk into a store and buy groceries with it?
That's the big question, isn't it? While Bitcoin can technically be used for payments,
Yeah.
its adoption in everyday transactions is still quite limited.
Yeah. Why is that? I imagine the price volatility would make things tricky.
Yeah.
It seems like the price of Bitcoin is always going up and down.
Price volatility is definitely a factor.
Yeah.
Imagine going to the store one day
Yeah.
and a loaf of bread costs 0.001 Bitcoin,
Okay.
and the next day it costs 0.002 Bitcoin.
I see what you're saying.
It makes it difficult to use as a stable unit of account. Plus, transaction fees
Mm-hmm.
can sometimes be high,
Mm.
and waiting for transactions to be confirmed
Right.
can take a while.
Yes, those confirmations. You
Yeah.
mentioned them earlier. Why do we have to wait for confirmations when receiving Bitcoin?
Yeah.
It seems like an unnecessary step.
It's all about security. Think of it like waiting for a check to clear.
Okay.
When you receive Bitcoin, your transaction gets added to a block,
Uh-huh.
but each block needs to be verified by multiple miners
Right.
and added to the blockchain.
Okay.
Each added block is a confirmation.
So the more confirmations,
Right.
the more secure the transaction becomes.
But exactly. Waiting for confirmations is a way to protect yourself against fraud.
Makes sense.
Speaking of security,
Mm-hmm.
what happens if you lose your Bitcoin wallet?
Oh,
Have you thought about that?
losing my Bitcoin wallet. I try not to think about it.
Yeah.
But it does raise an important question about security and responsibility in this decentralized world.
It's a crucial point.
Yeah.
If you lose the private key to your Bitcoin wallet, your Bitcoins are essentially lost forever.
Oh, wow.
There's no central authority to help you recover them.
Mm.
It's like losing a physical wallet with cash. It's gone.
So it's really up to the individual to keep their Bitcoin safe. That's a lot of pressure.
It is. It highlights the importance of secure wallet management in the Bitcoin world. Ironically, those lost Bitcoins actually contribute to the scarcity and potential future value of the remaining Bitcoins.
Huh.
It's a deflationary system in a way.
It seems like Bitcoin challenges so many of our traditional notions about money and finance.
Absolutely. It forces us to rethink the way we view value, control, and trust. It's more than just a technology. It's a whole new economic philosophy.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from Bitcoin's mysterious origins to its complex mechanics and its impact on the financial world. But I think the most intriguing question is, where does Bitcoin go from here?
That's the million Bitcoin question, isn't it?
Yeah.
The future is always uncertain, but the fact that we're still talking about Bitcoin after all these years is a testament to its staying power. It's weathered booms and busts, regulatory scrutiny, and even forks where different versions of Bitcoin have emerged, yet it's still here, evolving and adapting.
It's fascinating how Bitcoin has sparked a whole movement. Now we're seeing thousands of other cryptocurrencies out there, each with its own unique twist. Did Satoshi Nakamoto ever imagine this happening when they created Bitcoin?
It's like Bitcoin opened Pandora's box, and the world of finance will never be the same. Whether you see it as a threat or an opportunity, there's no denying that it challenges the established financial system.
It definitely raises some big questions. Will governments and central banks eventually issue their own digital currencies? Will we see mainstream adoption of crypto for everyday purchases? Will Bitcoin's price stabilize, or will it always be this wild roller coaster ride? What do you think?
If I had a crystal ball, I'd be a very rich man. But what I can say is this. The future of finance is likely to be more decentralized, more digital, and more global. And Bitcoin has undeniably played a key role in pushing us in that direction. It's a fascinating experiment that's still unfolding before our eyes.
It's been an incredible journey exploring the world of Bitcoin with you today, and I have a feeling this is just the beginning of the story.
Indeed. The world of cryptocurrency is constantly changing and evolving. So stay curious, keep learning, and who knows what the future holds for Bitcoin and the world of decentralized finance.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into Bitcoin. We hope you've enjoyed exploring this revolutionary technology with us. Until next time, keep on learning.